I like vices that I can at least control to some degree, obviously. And this one is very difficult for me to control. Like, I've dreamt about it before, and I don't like that it has a hold on me in that way.
See, I think you should double down.
You're right about that. You're a bad influence.
How am I a bad influence? I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help. Tell me what's going on.
I'm good.
You're good?
I'm very good. Yeah, back after a year and a half. I can't wait to catch up.
You're a trooper. The fact that you just told me you came from doing 6 hours of your own podcast?
Yes, yeah.
What's wrong with you? Why are you here?
You know, like, this is what happens when I have to be bicoastal. I come every 1 to 2 months and I have to just like do it back to back for 6 hours in order to cue it out properly. And maybe I just enjoy that kind of working pace. I think maybe deep down I enjoy that.
I'd hope so. Jesus, like that's a lot, especially to like, oh, I'm gonna do 6 hours of my own show, and then I'm gonna come get drunk with Matt.
So I was looking forward to this because at the end of my own podcast, I was like, I'm going to be getting a drink. After, I'm going to relax and just chill and not have to be the person interviewing and like thinking about like the flow of the conversation.
Oh, surprise, you're in charge. I'm the guest tonight.
Oh no, get me out of here.
Your producers didn't tell you? Oh shit.
Fuck.
You gotta fire them. They were supposed to tell you.
You know, I thought this team was a team, but I guess not.
No, they fucked you. Like, it's Sunday. I told you. Like, I don't work on Sundays. I was just letting you use my gear to interview me.
Oh, you take the Lord's Day very seriously.
Yes, totally.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I believe in God.
Oh, I knew it. I knew you were a believer. Organized religion is just oozing out of you right now.
I hope nothing's oozing out of me right now. Ooh. Okay, I'm good. I showered right before you got here. Nothing's oozing. Cheers, by the way.
Cheers. Needed this drink.
Same. So seriously, what has been going on?
Okay, in the last year and a half, I think the big thing is I have been really consistent with the digital side of everything I've been doing. Like, I think when we first talked, I was only in person. You were like the first podcast that I was on.
I was.
And yeah, you took my podcast virginity. And I was pretty like not used to cameras and mics and lighting and all that shit. And now it's been a year and a half of me doing that. And I feel like I finally have a good footing.
Oh, I know. It was really cute afterwards. You're like, I was a little nervous. I'm like, really?
I was nervous.
So
I wasn't used to it.
Dominates men all the day. Like, oh, I'm just nervous. You know.
I have my moments, okay? And I think like you can kind of tell I was nervous because I was a little bit more closed up and less expressive. But this is me a year and a half later. You know, I know when to make eye contact with the camera now.
I don't even know when to do that sometimes. Like, what? I'm supposed to look at you now?
Breaking the wall, yeah.
Oh my God, there's an audience? Oh my God.
Mm.
What brought on wanting to actually do a podcast of your own?
I've been wanting to like branch out not just like I've been doing doming for so long, right? Like both in person and digitally. And I kind of wanted to branch out into something that's adjacent but still involved in the BDSM community. And podcasting seemed like, to be honest, like the easiest lift out of all the other possible branchings that I could do. Like, I can talk about my experiences. I have friends who are in the industry. There's cool stories. And yeah, there's something about like destigmatizing a lot of stuff in BDSM that I also wanted to touch on. But yeah, that's kind of the main reason. Mm-hmm.
Good reason. Hell, a lot of people started podcasts for lesser reasons. I only do this to write off my alcohol bill.
That's a great idea. That's a fantastic idea.
Well, yeah. Why do you think I've been doing it for almost a decade? The second I sober up, I'll be like, yeah, podcast is over.
Well, I hope you never sober up then.
I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, I feel like your alcohol collection has grown since the last time I've seen you.
It has a little bit.
Mm.
Yeah, in the last year and a half, yeah, it's expanded a touch.
Yeah, how was the last year and a half for you?
Let's see. Been doing this. More and more people around me are dying, so that's always fun.
Oh no. Should we talk about that a little bit or?
Oh, I mean, I already have, but
okay.
Good friend died like last September in a car accident. It's
fuck.
It's like, oh yay. Nice stark reminders of what I've been preaching forever, which is this is the only life you have.
Mhm.
None of it's promised.
Yeah.
Fucking live the most out of it.
Yeah, I agree. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, with a skull cup too.
Smoking a cigarette on it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of cigarette, I've had the worst nicotine addiction in the last year. And I've been trying to kick it for on and off for a few months now.
Why?
Because it's actually like the worst like habit I've have.
What's wrong with it?
Just doing other things. Okay, see, we have different ways of like going about our vices. I like vices that I can kind of at least control to some degree, obviously. And this one is very difficult for me to control. Like that deep urge to just grab a vape or grab, if it's around me, I will take it. I've dreamt about it before when I've been going like cold turkey. Like, and I don't like that it has a hold on me in that way.
See, I think you should double down. I think you should go on those big vapes with the tank where you blow giant smoke. Like,
just do so much of it that I get sick of it and then it'll never be in my system again.
Yeah.
Maybe I should give that a try, you know, just like really.
Going cold turkey is obviously not working for you.
It's not, you're right about that. You're a bad influence.
How am I a bad influence? I'm trying to help. I am trying to help. How can I possibly be a bad influence?
I'm going to give that a try and I'll report back, okay?
Well, hopefully it'll be faster than a year and a half.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Time really flies.
It does. So have you thought about just, jumping and permanently being in LA yet?
I don't love LA as much as I love New York, unfortunately. And a big part of it is I don't know how to drive.
Don't have to drive.
Yes, you do. What are you talking about? Yes, you do. You have to drive everywhere.
There's Ubers everywhere.
My Uber bill is insane.
Write it off. It's all business.
I mean, it is being written off, but it's still a high bill.
It's tax sheltering.
Okay.
If you buy a car, you actually have to pay for it. You can't write off the whole goddamn car. Write off all your Uber.
I think what I need is a sub in LA that is a dedicated chauffeur for me.
Oh my God. Like that'll be so difficult to fucking find.
I think that is my solution. Yeah. It's not difficult to find someone willing. It's difficult to find someone willing and has an available schedule in the way that I need it.
And willing to pay you to drive you around.
Yes, and willing. That's the, extra part of the arrangement that I would love to discuss.
Well, yeah, obviously. They're a sub. They're paying you for this, right?
Yeah, I'm pitching it. If you are an LA-based sub and want to pay me to be my chauffeur, reach out.
Oh my God, that could be amazing content too. Because you could just film you doming him while he's driving you places.
Oh yeah, my feet against a windshield, whatever, Tarantino style, a little tease, like that's all he gets.
Just set up GoPros all around the car.
If he doesn't like drive well enough, I'm just smacking him in the balls.
I imagine you in the backseat, just like reaching, pop, slapping him in the back of the head.
Absolutely, yeah.
You can't be up front with him.
I mean, like, there's easier access to punching the balls if I'm up front.
Oh, you can reach through. You can reach through the seat.
That's a little. I don't know. I feel like you don't get as much swing when you're reaching through the seats like that.
I think there should be some trial and error. Not volunteering, by the way. I am not volunteering for this.
I mean, I don't know. It seems like you were thinking about it.
Yeah, because it's hilarious. Not for myself. I think of many horrible concepts for other people to experience.
Okay, I'm writing this down. I'm making it happen.
We're filming it.
Yes.
You just have to go back to the episode.
Yeah, ball busting with chauffeuring. Like that's an untapped niche.
Make him wear like the chauffeur's outfit but with no pants.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Put him in chastity and the chauffeur's hat and the chauffeur's top and just chastity.
Oh yeah. That's great. Or like a vibrating butt plug in him and like I have to like remote control it the entire time. I might get into a car accident if that happens though.
Well, maybe not the butt plug then.
Yeah, no butt plug. Just chastity cage.
Yeah, just chastity.
Yeah. Something easy. Simple.
Yeah. There you go. Just the idea of someone in a chauffeur's outfit but with no pants and in chastity is hilarious to me. That's just hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you make him get out of the car and open your door for you. Even if you don't do this in real life, you should definitely do it for some digital content because that's just a hilarious visual.
I think that could be pretty funny. Yes, absolutely. I want to make it happen.
Well, I'm saying if you can make it happen in real life, do it. But if you can't and you just have to cast somebody for a one-off scene on that would still be a great visual for
Yeah.
somebody to see, just especially if you shoot like waist up, and then when you get to where you go stop, he gets out, and then all of a sudden the reveal as he comes around the car.
And the camera like panning down in a shocked manner. This is something I really do love about doing digital content more. Things that like if I don't get a request enough in in-person work, or if there's something I want to do and I'm just like not finding stuff, I can just like create it and make that fantasy come to life now. And that's been a lot of fun.
What else have you been making?
Right now, like I've been doing a lot of ball busting content. Tomorrow I'm doing a ball busting shoot with someone in LA. Yeah, there's been a wide mix of like I've collaborated with a bunch of people at this point now for the last year and a half, like from porn stars to pro subs to like double doms, to like BTS stuff with my own subs for a session and live streams. I've like really explored the full range of like having a videographer and then like self-filming it and doing handheld, like all of that stuff. Like I've been just doing all of it, exploring all of it.
What's been most satisfying to create?
I think it depends on my mood. Like it really does. I think I've always been a little moody. So when I started out, I really loved doing like high production like videos with like hiring videographer, having a full team, having a location and like shooting in that way. But recently what I've been liking is a lot more like organic interactions with pro subs and also like uh like porn performers who bottom really well, and we just like set up a camera and just like kind of engage organically.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Big plans for what else you're going to try to create?
I have these fantasies that I do want to create, but require a little bit more time dedicated to making it happen because it's like higher fantasy stuff. I also have like some hard sadistic videos that won't be able to sell anywhere, but I just want to make it because it's fun.
Well, tell the class. What are you trying to make that you can't sell?
Like really hardcore like kidnapping and like torture videos, and I want it to be like found footage style.
Well,
Things
give me the
like that.
synopsis. Like,
Okay, so this is something that me and a sub have talked about in the past. I want to do a home invasion break-in scene with him, and I come in and like subdue him, restrain him, maybe like do some chemicals to make him pass out, and zip tie, lock him up, the full plastic bag over the head.
are you really going to use real chemicals or?
I mean, if I'm going for authenticity and if he consents to it, yes, yeah. I mean, the sub is not the reason why I want to use chemicals is like he's not a small guy. He's like 6'4", like built like a footballer. I need chemicals to subdue a guy like that. There's no way I'm
Choking. You can just choke him out.
I can't even, like, okay, imagine a home break-in and she's a like small 5'5" Asian girl. There's nothing intimidating. I need the tools and I need the accoutrements in order to like make it happen. So yeah, the chemicals is a necessity for a scene like this.
Well, you could always like shoot him up with a syringe of a mystery liquid.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Absolutely. I think there's something classic about a handkerchief over the face, though.
I've been led to believe chloroform is not fast in real life.
Really? Is that true?
Someone was telling me like it takes like 5 minutes of exposure for chloroform to actually knock people out.
I think they have to be hyperventilating in order for it to like be huffed enough. Are you researching right now? I'm so interested in what your Google search is. If this is the type of thing you're casually typing on.
Oh yeah.
Night.
Oh yeah. Why not?
How fast does chloroform
take to knock someone out? Is the Google search. Let's see what the CDC has to say about it. At high levels, you may have trouble breathing and may pass out. Is all the CDC says about it.
Okay, so high enough level and it'll work.
I just don't think it works like it does in the movies.
Well, that's why people like me need to test it out in order to answer the real questions that people are asking.
I feel like it might be illegal for you to have real chloroform.
Well, this is why this is a fantasy, right? Like
Exactly.
The logistics of actually making it happen takes a little bit. Yeah, and after the chloroform part, some basic classic beatdown torture, some knife stuff, some needle stuff.
According to a Quora article, it can take about 5-10 minutes to produce effects, depending on the concentration and the individual sensitivity.
Maybe it is slower than.
Yeah.
Maybe I do need something else.
If you're going for realism.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if this scenario is actually a realistic scenario. On one hand, it would be hilarious. Like, you brag him and he's just like, what are you doing?
Uh-huh.
But
or like the first 5 to 10 minutes of the video is me holding it over his face very patiently until he passes out, if we're going for realism. And he's just letting me do it, you know? And the 10 minutes is him consenting to it happening. And it's very clear on video.
I want to be knocked out.
Yeah, he's just sitting there. We're just patiently waiting for it to happen.
Oh, man. If you could combine edging with it, it's like, I'm going to edge you and then pass you out at the same time.
Oh, that's actually kind of hot. That's actually kind of hot, yeah. Another video idea in the works.
There you go. Just giving away concepts here.
Yeah, exactly. That reminds me of this. I was going to do this video with a sub who's really into like chokehold knockouts. And yeah, it's stuff like that, like edging with like, you know, him actually passing out fully from like leg locks or like arm locks.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Just being asphyxiated and being edged at the same time.
Yes, but he wants a full KO. And like he can come while he's being KO'd fully. Like as he's like passing into darkness, like his body will react. And I think that's kind of a special skill. Not everyone can do that, you know.
He just kind of wakes up to a mess.
He does. Yes. Yeah, he does wake up to a mess. I don't even know if he feels the orgasm, but we haven't shot yet, but that's like when I was on the call with him, like that's what he said was he can do and also has done on video before, yeah.
I'm not here to kink shame, but like, I don't know, just waking up to the aftermath of my orgasm seems like a bad time.
He would disagree, but you know, there's all sorts of people involved.
Right. As I said, I'm not here to kink shame. I'm not here to kink shame. I'm just saying, like, due to alcohol, I've not always been conscious or present for my orgasms, but I generally prefer what I am.
Yeah, that is something I remember from the last podcast. You're like, I know what I like, and I stick to it. Yeah.
My tastes are fairly vanilla. It's just what it is. I know what I like. I've never really felt the need to really explore it. I definitely am not into like receiving pain. So it seems like a waste of everyone's time. Like, hey, I'm going to pay you to beat me up. I'm not into this.
Yeah, it's not for everyone. Yeah.
And I'm not here to shame anyone who's into it. Like, I wish you all the happy clientele that will spend their hard-earned money. Just not my jam. But it's still fascinating to hear about it.
I agree. I think, you know, when I hear about vanilla sex, I get the same reaction. Not my thing, but fascinating to hear about it.
You never have vanilla sex? Never?
I mean, of course I've had vanilla sex before, but it's not...
What year was that?
I mean, like totally vanilla sex with like no kink involved, like at all. It's been a while.
What do you consider kink? Like, because obviously there's varying
Yeah. Okay, so vanilla sex to me is sort of like two people getting together and they just like have sex in like the 3 positions that vanilla people have sex in.
Okay, I'm not that vanilla.
Okay.
That's a little too vanilla.
Okay. What exactly is vanilla? I'm sort of like, what exactly is vanilla sex?
Well, I don't think like light choking and slapping is particularly kinky.
I don't think that's kinky. I think that's vanilla.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
But
is foot fetish vanilla? I think foot fetish is vanilla.
I agree. But I've said that to other people, like, no, that's kind of kinky. I'm like, is it?
I don't think it's kinky.
I don't either. It's literally like, oh, if someone asked me to like slap them or choke them on the first date, I wouldn't bat an eye. I wouldn't be like, huh, okay. Like, okay, this is just a little rough. Like, no big deal. I wouldn't. That's why I'm like, I'm pretty vanilla because that's about the extent of where I'm going.
So, I mean, like, what I can say is, it's been like I have to like try to recall like when last. So, like, I don't remember.
Vanilla sex is almost kinky for you because that's almost taboo at this point.
I mean, it's not even taboo. It's something I'm not opposed to it. I just don't find it. I don't gravitate towards it. You know, I'm also like not really around people who seek that out anymore. Like too much. You're the first vanilla person I've talked to in a long time.
I don't believe that.
No, I think like you are. I don't. I was like, who is the last like vanilla person that I've like really really talked to? And it's been a while. We're like two different species in like adjacent, you know, parts of the zoo right now, like trying to communicate with each other.
I think we're doing all right. I understand what what you're into. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
It's like when I talk to vegetarians, it's like, well, I understand why you do that, just not my thing. Or sober people.
Like 100% sober people.
Yeah.
That I don't quite understand either. People should indulge a little bit.
Oh, definitely. But there are some people who overindulged in this. They had to wildly course correct.
That I understand. That's how I feel about nicotine.
No. We're not. Massive doses, and then you'll go cold turkey.
Okay. Again, I'll give it a try. Maybe that'll work.
Or you should do what I did, is just switch to cigars, because that's a time commitment. And you can't just tie up, an hour and a half at a time every fucking time you have a fit. Develops a little discipline.
I do like cigars. I do like cigar lounges. I had a little I had a sub who was really into like me smoking cigars, and he taught me a lot about it like a few years ago. Yeah, I wonder how he's doing.
What happened to him?
He retired from the kink scene. Yeah, he like bought a house in Michigan, and we had a really nice little like goodbye partying sort of like hangout, and he's like, yeah, I'm retiring from all of that. He's the last time I talked to him, he's just like, yeah, I just want to like focus on gardening. And I think sometimes people go through those phases, like they retire from the things they used to be into.
I can imagine aging out, but like, did he become elderly and feeble? Like,
I don't think he was elderly and feeble, but he was like a little older, and he was into pretty like extreme kinks and fetishes, and maybe part of it is sort of like he doesn't want his body to go through it anymore. And he just was really into his flowers at the time we parted.
That's a weird pivot in my mind.
For me too, but I think people's psychological states shift, and I mean he was into some like really hardcore like sort of like military, like masochistic scenes, and yeah, I think he just shifted as a person when he hit a certain age, and that was that.
Quitter. Hey, who am I to judge?
Yeah. Hey, so it's possible to go from extremely kinky to vanilla.
It sounds like you went to abstinent.
Yeah.
Like, I have my flowers now. I don't need sexual contact anymore.
I mean, yeah, possibly, maybe that was yeah, he was a fascinating individual.
Sounds like it. I don't know. At the point where it's just like sex is completely unappealing to me at that point, I don't know how I'd go on living. Where I would rather go tend my flowers than continue with my sexual exploration. I'm like, I don't know if I want to keep on living at that point.
I suppose like it is a different kind of intensity too, to like pivot that hard. So yeah, maybe going from one extreme to another is part of that like spectrum of intensity.
It's entirely possible. It is absolutely entirely possible. I am obviously not a psychiatrist or psychologist. I don't know. I am just guesstimating. And also, as much as I say, like, I don't know how I'd go on living if sex was not appealing, on the flip side, I go, man, if I was asexual, I'd get so much more done. Could you imagine how productive you could be if like sex was just not an interest in any way, shape, or form?
I think I'm more productive because I'm so interested in it to the point of like wanting to like explore weird things about it all the time. Yeah.
For sure. And thankfully that is your business. So, but the people that are just like, I don't care. Like they must have so much time on their hands.
Do you know any like asexual friends or know any people in that community?
I know like one person.
Are they productive?
Probably not as much as they should be.
I guess people are just not that productive, no matter their sexual leaning.
No, people are just generally lazy. So much of what I do in life is like, and I know that sounds weird to say, but like if you think about it, people, how much of your life actually revolves around sex in some way, shape, or form? People use sex to sell fucking cheeseburgers. People use sex to sell everything. So much of like what men do in life is just like, well, and this is to potentially impress a mate.
It is a really strong driving force. It's a really powerful driving force. And I love that about humans.
Well, yeah, it directly affects your bank account.
I mean, it's the bank account, but also like it makes life so like invigorating, you know, like to have that life force and for that energy to be out there in the world. Yeah.
It is. And it's also, you know, in theory, what keeps our society going, I guess.
Mm.
I guess. I don't know what world humanity would look like if it wasn't a driving force. Because what would people's motivations be to do half the shit they do?
Well, there'll be no more clubs in the way clubs are run nowadays. Yeah, I mean, like so much of New York's club scene is based around like hookup culture,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And like the whole thing is like the entire ecosystem is ran in that way.
At the end of the day, every bar is about meeting people and potentially hooking up.
Mm-hmm.
No one's going to the bar just, yes, they may be going to the bar to be sociable, but always in the back of your head, it's just like, well, you know, might meet someone if you're single and or unfaithful. Yeah. Oh, I may go to the bar and I may meet someone and we may hook up. And
Mm-hmm.
there's always that glimmer, that hope.
Mm.
Think how much more restaurant traffic would go down because you know how many people are going to nicer restaurants as dates or to take people out to celebrate something with their partner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I'm really into, I mean, still, the last time I was on here, I talked about me liking chastity, and I still really like chastity because you're locking up that life force and also directing it and then controlling it. I think chastity is like one of the most powerful tools out there, and I continue to love it as a kink.
Now the question is, do you ever put yourself in chastity?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
See, you just want to control other people's force, the life force.
Yes. Yeah. Although I have to say, like, if I have gone for like long periods without like masturbation or sex,
What's a long period?
I can go like quite a while, like several weeks, yeah, months at a time if I really want to.
Why would you
And
want to?
because it's the same thing, like you kind of get like a pent up energy, and then you can sort of like control it, direct it in a way into other things. And I think that that's a lot of fun to just play with like, you know, denial of other people and for yourself, sort of like that self discipline too.
I am not about that disciplined lifestyle. Like, nah. Sometimes I wish I was because yeah, I have made some poor choices in life.
Mm.
Definitely fucked some people I probably shouldn't have. It's just horny in the moment.
That I don't relate to. I have never fucked anyone I've regretted.
Oh, good for you. Thanks for shitting on my life choices.
This is why you need to have like practice a little bit of like self-discipline and a little denial so that you can be clear-minded about the quality of people that you want to be around. And
well, I didn't want to be around them. I just wanted to have an orgasm, and they were willing and
might as well just jack off then. Might as well just jack off.
As I've said before, with some of those people, I effectively was just jacking off inside them. Like it was like, oh, I'm drunk, I'm horny. They wanted to fuck. Yeah, in the moment, I was definitely just essentially just jerking off inside them. I was not particularly concerned about if they were having a good time or not. I was just like, oh, I'm drunk and I'm horny and I'd like to get off. And oh, you'd like to get me off? Cool.
Yeah.
Not my shiniest moments. I'm a fallible human being. I do horrible things sometimes. Meh.
Yeah, I guess I care a lot about the quality of my interactions.
I wasn't giving it that much forethought.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, it was one of those, hey, in the moment, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, you want to fuck? All right, cool. Like one that comes to mind is like, I was at a house party at a house I was crashing at in Vegas. And I was drunk. And the girl who I was regularly hooking up with decided that she was banging someone else that night. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to head to bed. And one of her roommates like, "You want some company?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Not the best choice.
And that was that.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that. Not the best choice. Not only because it wasn't the best time in the world, there were social repercussions from it too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
See, like,
Don't fuck people's roommates.
the fallout of that type of, like, horny behavior is, like, just it just domino effects, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which is why it's better to just jack off or practice a little bit of, like, self-denial.
Well, I very much intended
For a
to just
higher good.
I intended to just go to my room and go to sleep. And it was, "Hey, you want some company?" I'm like, "Oh, sure." It wasn't like I was hitting on her. It wasn't like there was any, like, real interaction at the party
You
before
know,
that.
at the end of the day, it's, this type of male behavior that makes OnlyFans so successful at the end of the day.
For sure. For sure it is. And God bless. Like,
Mhm.
separate those dudes from their money. Like, if you're consciously aware, like, "Hey, I am getting what I want out of this," which is
Mhm.
whatever level of interaction and whatever level of content you're paying for, cool. If you're building up some parasocial relationship in your head with this person and think they owe you shit because you're spending money on them, that's a problem.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's where dudes need to realize, like, just because you're paying her, she's nice to you because you're paying her. She doesn't owe you shit
Mhm.
besides what you're paying for.
Mhm.
That level of delusion, I do not get. I can't wrap my brain around it.
Yeah, I mean, the wishful thinking that oftentimes, people online have for, like, certain creators is, like, pretty out of hand. Um, I think there is a kind of, like, middle ground, though, for creators who do have, like, a high personal touch on their pages, and there is, like, a level of relationship, though, I think, for certain pages.
For sure, but it's not gonna ever be at least for the most part, be the relationship that the dude has in his mind.
Mhm. Yeah. I think it's a little different for, like, dom sub stuff, like, because for me, like, my subs know they're, like, serving, right? They know that they're paying to serve, and, like, that dynamic's a little bit different, like, there's a very agreed upon, like, hierarchy.
Well,
Whereas for vanilla people, I think it's like, they're like, "Oh, this is my online girlfriend,"
right.
which is like, "Okay, she has, like, 5 million followers." Like, you think she's your online girlfriend?
You think that she's actually chatting with you and it's not someone in the Philippines?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's wild.
Well, and I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, with the dom sub stuff, like, there's clearly defined rules. There's clearly defined rules. Like,
Yeah.
everyone who's getting into it knows exactly what's going on. Where OF interactions and social media interactions with creators and stuff like that isn't as clearly defined. There's not years of a community building up like, these are the rules. These are
Mhm.
the OF is still basically in its infancy, and it's still the Wild West to a degree.
Mhm.
I mean, hell, it's only what, 15, 16 years of like Twitter being really popular in the adult community space where like people could just easily interact with, the creators they lust after.
Mhm.
Because there's no hard and fast rules. Some people are some people I feel nurture that parasocial relationship because they feel it can lead to more money and they have no problems nurturing it. And like, if that's what you're into, get your bag. But it ends up with a bunch of confused dudes.
Mhm. I also do think that if you are confused about how the internet works, unfortunately, like, Darwinism dictates that, like, you probably shouldn't reproduce if your brain can't handle technology at its current state. So, yeah, maybe the parasocial relationship is just, like, a higher form of Darwinism at work.
I saw a clip from some creator I don't even know recently. It was like her on a podcast interviewing one of her subs, and she's like, "How much have you spent on my OF?" He's like, "Just your OF or every girl's?"
Mhm.
She's like, "Just mine." He's like, "Oh, like $5,000." I'm just like, oh, if he's just like out here on a podcast being like, I spent $5,000 on your OF, and why there's other people he's supporting, like, how much is this dude spending?
Mhm.
It's wild.
Mhm.
It's wild. You'd think you could just find someone who would, use you for your money in person at that point.
Mm. I agree. Like when I started doing more digital work, like something I found surprising was the demographic for people who seek out in person and the demographic for people who are always only online. It's like totally different. There's no overlap. Like people who are chronically online, they tend to be like a little socially awkward, they're really shy, they like are unable to have in-person interactions. And then people who are in person, and partially due to my rates too, they tend to be like really like they tend to be like more successful in life in a lot of different avenues. Like they have a robust friend group, they often have like romantic relationships that are pretty healthy, and like pretty good at their jobs, networking, all of that. And there's actually like very little. The Venn diagram is like barely overlapping.
Wonder if anyone's done like a real like study on the average OFU like customer, like the digital customer.
I think there should be. I mean, it's fulfilling a deep niche for like a lot of what is primarily men, and I don't know. I think like we have to grapple with how we interact with the internet.
Oh, for sure. There are a lot of lonely dudes out there. There are a lot of sad dudes. There are a lot of dudes that just think in their head like they don't possess the confidence to be like, oh, I could approach a girl that looks like, XYZ girl. But if I spend some money, she'll pay attention to me.
Mm.
And there's not even the stigma of going to the strip club.
Mm-hmm.
There's just, that barrier of in-person sex work like that, where it's just like, depending on where you are, depending on your social group, there's a stigma of going to the strip club.
Mm-hmm.
This is all from the privacy of your own home. This is all. It's just a wild thing. They really should find out what drives people, like what is societally driving all these people to OF. Because there's millions of fans on there.
Yeah. I try to run my own OnlyFans page a little bit differently because I don't like the agency model where they're not even talking to a real person, right? I do still have like really high touch points with my own subs. Like I'm in the DMs, I send like personalized voice messages. I know a number of them like really, I do think it is on a personal level. And I think there is a healthier way of going about it, like as a creator, and like for me, like setting expectations for them around like my availability, like the investment, and like.
Oh, that's an earthquake.
Oh my God.
That's an earthquake.
Oh my God.
That's fine.
Oh, that's so scary. Is it over?
Maybe.
Holy shit.
But yeah, setting boundaries.
Oh my God.
You okay?
Yeah. I just like haven't experienced an earthquake in a very long time. It's so weird.
I'm glad we caught it on camera.
Holy shit. Is it still shaking?
It feels fine.
Okay. Wow, California. Another reason to not move here. Oh my God. Okay.
In a sec?
No, I'm fine. I just don't know. How long does it last for? Does it go again?
There might be an aftershock, but probably not. Not for a little while.
Okay. I guess we can keep talking.
Yeah, I mean, that was the plan.
Okay, cool. What was I saying?
Well, you're saying, wow, that's an earthquake. But well, no, just that you're running your own stuff, that you're it.
Yeah, I do. I live stream, I take really detailed notes of people and like where they come. I also think it's different because it's kinks and fetishes, right? Like I'm working with like some really vulnerable, like taboo things that people are dealing with or like they're experiencing. And oftentimes like the control and dominance like requires a higher level of responsibility. So yeah, I feel like I need to know them and like, interact with them in a way that's like fair and that works for me. Yeah. And there's a really good community now. Like they all talk to each other, which I think is awesome. That was something that I was really trying to build, like a Tomie community, because yeah, I think one of the issues with OnlyFans is it's isolating But I was like, if all these isolated people just fucking talk to each other and become friends, we like solve a major issue, which is they don't have friends. So a lot of them talk to each other and they encourage each other and like they hang out. I also like do try to encourage them to be like, hey, I know you're online here a lot. Like, here's your subtask. Go on a date for this weekend. I think it's going to be healthy for you. Whatever you like about me, like try to be the type of person like in the world that will attract people like me. Work on XYZ, and I can have this like very candid. Like, there's a sub. I'm really proud of this. I have a sub who, when we met, so depressed, so sad on my OnlyFans. He's like, I'm a virgin. I've never dated a girl before. Blah 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 blah. And I was like, okay, let's go through the steps. Fucking get a haircut, first of all, change up your clothes, and now he has a girlfriend.
Going from virgin to you, that's real 0 to 60. No offense, but I wouldn't picture you as the starter sex worker.
I'm not, but he's into really extreme kinks and fetishes. Like, he's really into like hardcore knife play and whatever. And it is 0 to 100, 0 to 60, whatever, whatever the meter is. But I think he developed a lot of his kinks and fetishes because he was so pent up for so long, And I was like, cool, I can play with your kinks and fetishes, but also get a girlfriend who like loves you unconditionally, because we are in a value exchange system here. He knows it. He's very clear about it. And
unconditional love doesn't exist. Come on. Unconditional love does not exist.
Well, whatever version of it that he can find, right? But like, we have a very clear value exchange. You can have a different value exchange with another person.
Oh, for sure.
In your lifestyle capacity. And he does. And I think like that's really cool.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But also, unconditional love doesn't exist. Like, for someone to have unconditional love, they're mentally ill.
Maybe that's why I like when a submissive is so submissive. That's like, for me, the closest to unconditional love.
Yeah, but
when they're giving that 100%.
You don't unconditionally love them back.
I think it's a version of desire that is exchanged. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably not healthy. Because 100% the second they stop paying, you don't love them anymore.
In this capacity, like that value exchange, I think I do have subs where like my in-person rate's quite high at this point. I do have subs where they can't afford that rate, but they have like time and attention. They can work on other things. I think like that also is a like fair value exchange.
Okay, so you're taking labor in exchange for your attention.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, because that's what you trade money for, goods and services. So you're just cutting out the middleman of currency at that point because you labor, so someone hands you currency, so you can use that currency to buy a good or service. You're just cutting out the paper. That's all you're doing.
I also don't pretend to love anyone. I think sometimes there's some OnlyFans people where they're like, they send out things like, love you, baby, whatever. I don't do that. Like it's very clear what the dynamic is, right? I'm in charge. And if you want me to be in charge and it feels really good for you to serve me in this way, then like that is the dynamic. There's no like bullshit around like how I feel. There's some subs I like more because they are like really good people, or they're really funny, or or maybe sometimes like they're really generous, but like they have to bring something to a table because I'm bringing something to a table.
Well, that goes with any relationship. Like, authentic, like non-transactional ones. I mean, every relationship is transactional to some degree, but a stereotypical non-transactional relationship, like, you still got to bring someone to the table. No one's just be like, yeah, I just choose you.
Yes, yeah.
Of course, you want to be around someone who's funny, who entertains you, who brings you joy. Obviously, you're going to gravitate towards that. So that's not unusual. That's not like out of the ordinary. We're like, oh, hey, I prefer the people that I actually legitimately enjoy being around, even if they are paying me. It's like being around a coworker who are like, well, there's the coworker I got to be around because we're coworkers, and then there's coworkers like, oh yeah, you're actually a fun work buddy.
Yes, yeah, and I think like I have a lot of really loyal subs at this point too. It's because I understand that value exchange, so I hold myself to a certain standard to be the kind of person that is worth their time, money, attention, devotion in an extreme way. Because it's not cheap, right? Like that is not cheap. And so I have to be someone who is of like high value too.
Well, for sure. Plus you have limited time in the day.
Yeah.
So why are you going to discount your time when
Mhm.
other people, supply and demand, you have a limited supply of time. There's a lot of demand. Why would you not charge more?
Mhm. Yeah.
You know, it'd be one thing if like, fuck, I can't find any subs. Then the rates would have to come down.
Yes.
But seeing as it seems like people are just banging down your door to, have you beat them up. I
Yes.
oversimplified that. I know.
Yes, but there is high demand. There is high demand.
Right. So why would your rates not be high? Why would your rates not continue to go up? It's like, oh, well, people continue to pay this. Obviously, this is what it's worth. That's how market value works. The
Mhm.
market decides, oh, hey, this is what it's worth. People are willing to pay it.
Yeah. I also like, going back to your other point where it's like, are the emotions less real or less genuine because there's an exchange? I don't necessarily think so, right? I think if the only like factor that's important in a relationship is that transaction, then sure. But I think like my style of domination is a little bit more holistic.
Say a sub doesn't have time to, labor for you
Mm-hmm.
in your sub farm or whatever you got going on in the basement of New York somewhere. Just imagine like there's a fucking 4th floor walk up in some basement, like some boiler room, and you have a bunch of subs like just turning a wheel for no
Oh,
good
and
reason.
they're fucking happy doing it too. They're singing and dancing while they're doing it.
If someone couldn't devote time to you or labor to you and can no longer afford your rate, I'm assuming you don't keep them around even if you like their personality.
Have no time, so there is no value exchange, right?
Yeah.
At all. Okay. Yeah, then unfortunately, like, yeah, I have limited energy in that way. And I think they understand that too. I also like give the opposite example. I've had subs with a lot of money, offer a lot of money to buy up all my time. And I have said no to that too, because that exchange for my freedom is also too expensive, right?
Well, I feel like at that point, you're only the dom in name at that point. If they're buying up all your time and buying up all your freedom, how are you in charge?
Yeah, that's the right. So on one hand, it's sort of like for people who don't have anything, um, like that doesn't work. And for people who want to like overpower me using finances, that also doesn't work. The two extremes doesn't work. There is a very healthy, I think, middle ground between this is what's exchanged within my boundaries and within these emotions that's very satisfying for both partners, and that's the sweet spot I want to hit. I don't want either of the opposite ends because it doesn't fit into my life and the life I want to live.
Makes perfect sense to me. Like, at the point where you have one client and they are now effectively your boss and dictating your life because all your finances are tied to them, how is that going to work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that dynamic definitely doesn't work. And as you said, people understand what they're buying into. So no one should be offended when you're like, hey, you can't afford the service. No other business in the world is like, hey, we know you can't afford it. We're just going to keep giving you the product anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Because after all, this is your business.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope people would understand that. I hope that's the painful part about the parasocial relationship that people do develop.
Mm-hmm.
They don't seem to get that. Like, this is a business.
Mm-hmm.
No other business. If you walked into a fucking car dealership and like, I can't afford that car, so can I have that car? I bought my last car from you guys.
Mm-hmm.
No, obviously not.
Yeah. And I think it's important for people to respect that too. Like, this is the boundaries of it. And we can have a really good DS dynamic within these boundaries. But at the end of the day, like, it has to be something that fits into my life and grows my empire.
Right?
Uh-huh. And I think the great thing with subs is like they can understand that and they love building my empire. Whereas for people for vanilla sort of OF, they're sort of like, I don't know, there's something about that parasocial relationship that feels a little bit more like they try to not think about that part of it.
No, they're just thinking about their sexual gratification.
Mm-hmm.
And they're thinking about, oh, well, this person brings me sexual gratification. It's the same craziness of people being like, I want to marry X girl. Like, you don't know this person.
Mm-hmm.
You have never met this person. You don't know what they're like on a good day, a bad day. You only get their public internet persona. why the fuck would you declare, I want to marry this person?
Mm-hmm.
You want to have this person have power of attorney over your medical decisions. Fuck the financials. Fuck everything else that comes with being married. If you were to get into a car accident and were on life support, you want this adult performer who you have never met to have the ability to be like, yeah, pull the plug.
Mm-hmm.
What? What? Think about that. That's crazy. I mean, the whole statement of, I want to marry a stranger because like I like jerking off to her image is crazy in the first place. But when you actually think about the real, like, what goes into, I want to marry you. What?
I think there are a lot of them are in a fantasy headspace, right?
Oh, 100%.
Like, I mean, how many of them actually mean it too? Like when I see stuff like that, I know it's not serious, you know? Like I know it's not real either. They're indulging in their own fantasy of like whatever I am in the same way that like they can watch a movie and think that the emotions are real when the movie makes them cry. Yeah, it's that, yeah.
I feel like I should encourage performers to set up a P.O. box where people can send rings to. If you're serious about it, I'm X ring size, you can send it to this P.O. box.
Mm-hmm.
Once I get the ring, we can discuss the dowry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Once again, it comes back to dudes just thinking with their dicks.
Mm-hmm. Dudes thinking with their dicks, and the world's going round.
It's like, I understand in the olden times when there weren't a lot of humans, yes, the biological need to procreate was powerful and needed to be powerful. So the species continued. There's a lot of us now. Do we really need it to be so powerful anymore? Do we?
Unfortunately, still is.
I know. But I'm also going to completely tangent now. What the fuck have you been doing in real life away from work?
Again, the way I run things is like really intertwined with my personal life. I think out of everyone I know, like that intersection between like the business and the personal is like very, very thin. Just that's the way I have done things. But I have a kind of like a obsessive personality. So yeah, I've been just hustling a lot the last year and a
No
half.
trips, no concerts, no fucking good restaurants. Nothing.
I have done all of that, but with subs. Yeah. I have done a lot of travel last year. Paris, Japan for 2 weeks.
Nice. Sorry, audience. Thinking me shit. They're like, can you make it an episode without talking about Japan?
I love Japan. Oh my god. Tokyo's the best.
Dude.
So good. Yes, I did do a lot of travel last year. Japan was a personal trip for myself though. 2 weeks just for myself because I was like, I need it and I can afford it and I want to spoil myself. And so
and the yen's really depressed versus the dollar. So why the fuck wouldn't you go?
Oh my god, everything's so affordable.
I know. Like the first time I went there was like, oh, it's LA prices. And when I went in 2022, it's like, oh, I ate 22 plates of sushi at a conveyor belt and drank and spent $35.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
And it's like
very good.
Fat rolls of tuna. Just like take a picture. Like, guess how much this roll was? They're like $10. I'm like, try like 2 US.
Oh my gosh, I had the freshest like scallops from right by the sea with uni topped up. Oh my god, and it was so good. And it was like $3. The freshest, like if it tasted like it just came from the ocean, which it did that morning, and it was so delicious. Yeah, so like I love Japan. I have to go back this year sometime and do all that good stuff. But yeah, lots of travel. I'm going to be traveling again. I'm going to be going to London for a month and then hopping to I think Madrid and Switzerland with a sub.
Madrid's rad. Have you been?
I've never been.
I had a good time in Madrid. I want to go back. I only got about 3-4 days there, but I had a good time. Like bumped around the Tribal district, which used to be Madrid's red light district, but now it's kind of like an artist district. So I just bumped around cafes, drinking and eating tapas and smoking cigars in fucking courtyards and shit.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Oh, how I want to live life. Like literally my idea of success is just to make enough money to be able to do trips like that all the time. Like I don't want to be wealthy. I just want to be comfortable and I want to be able to like travel and just bum around, experiencing rad food and just like taking in culture.
I think wealthy is living that life though. Like it's your version of wealth.
For sure. But so many people define wealth as like hoarding money like a dragon. Like, I have my pile of gold, ha ha ha. And I'm not looking to create generational wealth because I'm never having children. I just want enough for me. I want to be able to travel on a whim. Like,
do you like luxurious travel or do you like just comfortable travel? Because that does change the experience quite a bit.
So I've done luxurious travel, kind of. Like the first trip to Tokyo, we were staying at the Ritz-Carlton. And like, it's like, this is nice. I don't need this. It's rad staying on the 47th floor and seeing Mount Fuji from my window and having turned down service and having a bathroom so large that I can't take it all in one picture. But marble floors are hard to fuck on, by the way. That should have put a towel down.
Yeah, definitely put a towel down.
Once again, drunk hookup. Drunk hookup that was not expecting to happen. But I don't need that. Like the last time I was staying in a one-room Airbnb that I spent $400 for the week. Especially in a place like Tokyo, I don't feel like you should get a nice room in Tokyo. I feel like you should have the bare minimum that you can comfortably sleep in Tokyo because you should not have an excuse to stay in. And that was the problem with staying at the Ritz is like, we just bummed around the hotel for 2 days because like, this is luxurious. We have a great restaurant in the hotel. There's another great restaurant across the street from the hotel. I have a soaking tub in my fucking room. I think the room was like 800 square feet. This is great and all, but I'm in Tokyo. There's nothing but shit to do here. Why am I staying in my hotel room?
Yeah, I do like nice hotels, but I have a thing for like high hospitality. Like I really love like well-organized experiences and I think hotels do it really well.
See, I'm the exact opposite. Like, I don't need a well-organized experience. I generally travel with no fucking plan. The base plan is arrive in country, figure out where I'm staying, exchange any currency I need to exchange, then find a bar and ask people what I need to see in their city.
Oh, we are such different people.
I'm well aware. I'm well aware.
Yeah. Well, before I went to Tokyo, I have a sub who like owns a few bars in Tokyo. I was like, give me the like best list possible. I want to like really experience quality. And he gave me a fantastic list of like 20 bars. And being able to hit like a good portion of it was like amazing because I knew every place I walk into is going to be good. I like knowing that whatever I'm going to walk into is like good quality. It's going to be interesting.
I don't think you can find bad bars in Tokyo.
There's no bad bars, but there's really good bars.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And there's a couple bars like I want to hit next time I go back. Like I saw something about like a hidden jazz bar, like that was a speakeasy jazz bar, and I want to go do that in a heartbeat. But like that's part of what I love about Tokyo is like even my worst meal there was like this is still pretty good.
Yeah,
but
the best meal is really fucking good.
Oh, for sure.
And then you have to necessarily reserve ahead of time if it's in Japan, if it's good. So you do have to do an element of planning and like figuring out what kind of experience you want.
I will do that for restaurants, but for the rest of like the trip, I'm about that. Like, hey, that place looks interesting. Let's walk in there. Like, especially in Tokyo. Like, oh, hey, I'm gonna walk down the shady alley. Oh, hey, look. There's a fucking teppanyaki spot right here, or there's a ramen spot. Let's fucking try it. And some of the best meals I had were just like random hole in the walls.
I mean, I do like the spontaneity in Tokyo and the walkability. I think that is really awesome. Did you try any of like the kink bars and the kink scene at all?
No.
Okay.
Especially like being a Westerner, like it was like I don't think I'll be welcome in a lot of them.
A number of them are pretty like foreigner friendly though.
But it's also not really my scene.
That's true. Yeah.
It's like I probably could have, set it up if I wanted to, but it was just like last time I was there, I pretty much just bummed around to a couple bars that I had previously hung out in while I was there, checked out a couple other bars, did a lot of street photography and just a lot of eating, 2 podcasts. I hung out in the one like Western style comedy club that's in Tokyo. Shout out Tokyo Comedy Bar. You guys are great. Want to come back sometime soon? What I love about that city is like, and as someone who lives in New York and has visited LA a lot, the way I describe Tokyo is a Manhattan density with LA sprawl. You feel that's accurate?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, that is accurate.
Yeah. So it's just like But unlike Manhattan, I don't have to worry block to block him. Am I on the wrong block? Because Manhattan's not nearly as grimy as it was. 20-something years ago, the first time I went to New York. But
I mean, it's pretty grimy still.
Oh, there's definitely, but 27 years ago it was like, oh yeah, there's parts of the Lower East Side were like, I'm not sure I should be here right now. Everywhere you go in Tokyo, it's like I have no fear of like violent crime happening against me.
Yes, absolutely. It's so clean and so safe. But there is something about like how everyone's so rule oriented that drives me a little nuts by the end of like 2 weeks. Like it makes me want to scream in the middle of the street.
Really?
Yeah.
As much as I obviously enjoy chaos, I also really enjoy how orderly their society is at times. It's one of those things where like I wish I could do more time there, but I also don't want to ever work for a Japanese company.
Yes. Yeah. Terrible company culture there.
But I really appreciate the work hard, play hard society. Like I appreciate like, oh, if you walk into a bar at 6 p.m., the amount of suits just get trashed and having a good time after their workday. It's great. I gotta go back. It's been like 2.5 years since I was last there.
Wow. Yeah. That's too long.
It is. It is.
Yeah, so yeah, I definitely did a bunch of travel and a lot of it, I mean, I feel like I should look through my calendar to see what I've been up to. But it's been like jam-packed for the last year and a half, yeah. My goal this year is actually to slow down a little bit in order to have more time for creativity. Yeah, it's just such different parts of my brain, and I do need like a lot of like space to meander and like waste time in order to be creative.
Just waste time somewhere else.
I mean, that's why I'm going to London.
Well, but you're going to London for work, right?
That's going to be like primarily a creative retreat for me. Like I just want to like read and like check out the kink scene, meet up with people, get a foot in the BDSM community there, and do like creative stuff. Yeah.
My thoughts with London. I had a good time in London. I definitely did, but because everyone speaks English, I didn't feel it was different enough from the States for me to really be like, oh, this is a great time. It was good, but when I was there in 2014, it was also like the pound was so strong versus the dollar. It was like, oh, this is really expensive. This isn't different enough from America for me to be like, woo, this is worth the money.
I think for like a month away, I do need a place where I can get around pretty easily, right? So like London's a place for me to do that.
You can get along easily in Paris.
I really like Paris. But yeah, the French are very French, and for a whole month there, and I don't speak a lick of French. I don't know if I want to like do that.
No, I feel you there. I feel you there. I've only been to Paris like once, and everyone was pretty like my very limited time in Paris. Everyone was really cool as long as we attempted French.
Yeah, I need to be a little comfortable with the language in order for me to be there a longer period of time.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. You can always roll down to South Africa.
Ooh, I do want to visit Cape Town.
Cape Town's rad. I've been.
Yeah, I heard it's great.
It's a wild place. It is a wild fucking place. I'll show you some footage on my phone. Like out at a bar one night, panhandlers like limboing under like flaming sticks on the streets, to, like, and then passing around a hat afterwards to try to collect money off people.
Oh wow!
The disparity between rich and poor there is very palpable. Like far worse than any neighborhood in LA.
How about New York?
Oh, even
Worse than New York?
Because you'll see just super impoverished homeless people begging for money. Like pretty universally in the States, like you'll get someone begging for cash or asking you to give them money for food, and then like if you offer to buy them food, they'll be like, "No, man, I want the cash." I had a dude, I'm drunk, going to the equivalent of a Burger King at like 3:00 in the morning. It's like, "Yo, man, can you buy me a burger?" Like, yeah, I'll see what I can do, man. I'll see what I can do. And I come out, he's like, "Yo, man, did you get me that burger?" I'm like, "You know what? Here's a fucking burger, man. Like, you legitimately just want food. Here you go." Like, personally, I have no problems giving a homeless person money for alcohol if they're just like, "Yeah, man, can you spare some money so I can get a drink?" Yeah, for sure. But if you tell me you want food, and then when I offer to get you food, and you're like, "No, no, no, I want something else," like, "No, no, I'm not hooking you up." You got to at least bring a level of honesty to me. Like you're like, I want to buy hard drugs. All right, cool. Like life's hard, man. You want to get high? Sure. It's your body, your life. Don't lie to me about it. I know it's a weird like moral.
So you moral police the homeless when they're asking for things?
I do, apparently. Apparently I do.
Yeah, all of that's coming out right now.
I'm not ashamed of it. Just be straight with me, man. Like I'm not gonna say no if you're like, oh, alcohol, drugs, whatever. But yeah, dude was legitimately waiting for a burger. I'm like, I hooked him up with a burger.
I heard that the food in Cape Town is really good. And
some of it was rad, some of it was okay.
Yeah, I heard like the nice restaurants are like a quarter of the price of like the ones in New York, and like better quality too.
To preface this, I haven't been there in 10 years. I was there in 2015.
Okay.
In 2015, the dollar was so strong versus the rand, it was insane. The buddy I went there with, we went to a wild game restaurant. Like they serve, I had zebra, springbok, and kudu. It's like two type of elk and a zebra for my meal. Appetizers, 2 bottles of wine, dessert. I think all said and done, tax tip, all said and done for all of us was 80 US.
Wow.
Yeah, it was great.
Wow, I also didn't know you can eat zebra.
It's a little gamey. It wasn't bad.
Oh, I want to try that.
Yeah, it was just like, I'm in South Africa. Yeah, I will eat wild game here. I mean, I also had horse last time I was in Japan. I figured my thought process in most places, if it's on the menu, there's a reason it's on the menu. People aren't wasting money stocking things that aren't selling.
Horse sounds pretty good too. Also never had horse. I gotta try some of that.
Yeah, I got horse sashimi last time I was in Tokyo.
Ooh, nice.
It was a little greasy, but it wasn't bad.
Okay. Yeah, something for me to try out.
See, I'm bummed. 2 times ago, I was there, walked by a place that served horse and whale, and I didn't go get the fucking whale.
Really? What type of whale?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I would love to try whale. I've always wanted to try whale.
Well, people are like, how can you support whaling? I don't support whaling, but it's already there. It's like, they didn't go hunt the whale for me. The whale's gonna go to waste if it doesn't go in my belly. Like, do you want the whale to die in vain? Right? It died for nothing if I don't eat it.
Yeah, I wonder what the whaling laws in Japan
Oh, they're pretty lax.
Really? Fascinating. I had no idea.
So Japan resumed commercial whaling in 2019 after withdrawing from the International Whaling Commission. After the largest hunt of over 1,400 Atlantic white-sided dolphins on the record, September 21 whales are still not safe and continue to face a myriad of threats worldwide. Yeah, Japan does some whaling.
Okay.
I don't support whaling, but if it's happening, you want the whale meat to go bad and the whale to die for nothing.
You're like, I don't actively support it, but I do support it with my money and appetite.
I haven't yet, but I will. I don't have such a big ego that thinks that my one-time purchase while I'm on vacation is going to change the whole industry.
Yeah.
I don't make enough or spend enough for it to, yep, we're going to shut down this whole industry because Matt didn't buy fucking some whale sashimi.
Yeah, I do think like for bigger structural changes, it's a lot harder for consumers to have any sort of like power over it. Yeah, but that's kind of like a bigger, complicated conversation.
Oh, for sure. It's one thing of like, it's an organized boycott. Yes, it will negatively impact someone. Like there was on the 28th, a day of don't spend money at Amazon, Walmart, like major retailers. Hopefully that has some impact. Hopefully enough people didn't spend money that day that there was some sort of impact there. But if one person's like, I'm not spending at Walmart today, do you think Walmart's actually going to notice? Nah. You should spend your money like how you want to spend your money. And if you don't want to support a thing, don't support a thing. Like, I'm not here to judge you for it. One person doesn't always make a difference. And I just want to taste some whale. I will do that. You're going to London.
Yes.
You're going to bounce around Europe at all?
Yeah, Madrid and Switzerland at the tail end of it. But yeah, so it's going to be a month in Europe.
You're not going to try to squeeze anything else in?
I mean, okay, let me look at my calendar because it was a busy year and I'm like blinking out on all the shit that I did.
You didn't do your homework before you came to the show. What?
I didn't know what questions I was going to be asked.
Of course you don't.
Okay, let me go all the
We're
way
having an
back to
organic
September.
conversation, Tomie. I'm not fucking gonna prep you with questions so you're perfectly prepared answers.
France, yeah, went to Paris, talked about that. Lots of coming back to LA. Oh, I was in Montreal. Oh, I forgot. I was in Berlin. I did this really amazing girls trip in Berlin. And it was a crazy like 4 days of us like partying nonstop. And then I flew immediately to Expo Miami afterwards, and I was like
Oh shit.
dying, but I got through
I
it.
saw you in Miami. You didn't look like you were dying.
Well, I was dying on the inside for sure after Berlin, you know, party with like a bunch of other doms. Yeah, so yeah, oh my gosh, I'm blanking out on that. It must be the alcohol.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, last year was the first year I have a full team now, which I'm pretty proud of. And I like hand selected everyone, but there was a lot of like hiring and firing processes. I had a billboard of me on this like truck billboard thing with I Want Clips. I did a shoot for that was pretty cool.
That's dope.
And I also cosplayed for Anime New York City. That was fun. Went to Chicago for a little bit, but that's not very interesting.
How is Chicago not interesting?
It's like, you know, compared to Japan and Berlin and all these other in Paris, like Chicago's Chicago. Beautiful, beautiful city though.
Good town to get that in. The food scene in Chicago is pretty rad.
It's really good. It's really good. Yeah, I went there to visit a friend and yeah, it's been a while since I've been back to Chicago, so it was nice to see it again. And when I went back, I forgot like how big the buildings are. Like I got so used to the skinny New York stacked buildings, and in Chicago, it's like every single building spans a block, and it's so grand and giant, and makes you feel small. And that was pretty cool to like re-experience again.
Yeah, I was there in September, but otherwise I haven't been there in years.
Mm.
Well, it's home. It's where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Chicagoan.
It's a little too cold for me all the time, though.
Same. As I've said to many people, when you grow up there, that's just life. You don't know any better.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you become an adult and travel to other places, like, oh, I don't have to live like this? Why the fuck do I live here?
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I don't. Leave Chicago. It's not the 1800s. There are other opportunities. But I know we got to get you out of here in like 10 minutes. So we're going to call last call. We're going to call this a little short. We will have to do this again when you got more time in less than a year and a half.
Yes, absolutely.
But before we get you out of here, where can they find you on the things?
I am mx.tomie.digital on Instagram. I am at Mx Tomie on Twitter/X. And yeah, those two are the two big platforms right now. If I ever get deplatformed, I'm always Mx Tomie something. So you can just Google me, you'll find me. I have a YouTube channel, I have my own podcast, Uncensored. Check those out. And yeah, I think that's all my plugs.
Nice. No Blue Sky?
It's like at Mx Tomie on Blue Sky. It's Mx Tomie everywhere, you know. Just be careful of the scammers out there pretending to be me. I'll never DM you on any of these platforms unless I know you somehow. So yeah, if I'm DMing you saying beautiful things that you want to hear, that's not me. I also don't talk to subs on Telegrams. Apparently there's a big scammer of me out right now talking to people on Telegram, you know. Be careful of that. Yeah, that's it.
I can attest, even if she knows you in real life, she's not going to say beautiful things to you. I don't think she's ever said a beautiful thing to me in my life. So, but until next week, drink up, motherfuckers.